All right, so welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have a very special guest today. Today I have Bunny Denton from Realty Executives Plus out of Mississauga. Bunny has been a partner of ours for a while now, since I started actually, and she's been incredible with helping me understand the different nuances when it comes to the realtor's life and what realtors need, and especially new realtors coming into the business, and it's been amazing. But yeah, why don't I let you introduce yourself, Bunny?
As you said, I'm Bunny Denton. I'm a broker at Realty Executives Plus in Mississauga. I've been in the industry for 13 years and been at Realty Executives for, I believe this will be my 5th year. And yeah, and I am considered the Director of Executive Development. So what really that means is that I train and mentor new agents that come into the brokerage.
And that leads me to the next question I have is, like, why did you move into that? So you started in as a realtor and getting into the business, but what made you move into more of the coaching and development role?
So our broker owner, Scott Gilmore, had a vision that he wanted to. He created this program that I head up. The fail rate for new agents in this industry is really quite high. So we want to see agents succeed, and that's why he approached me and asked me if I would consider starting this program or heading up this program. And having that opportunity, I was like, yeah, definitely. I love to help people, and if I could help new agents succeed, that's great. I mean, I've seen a lot of the agents that I train succeed, and it's very rewarding when when you see them and they get happy, and then they go off and be successful. And it's great. It's all about the phrase "paying it forward" or whatever. It's like I just sometimes this industry can be very competitive, and other people are afraid to see other people succeed. I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, there's enough business in this industry for all of us. So if I can help somebody else succeed and do well, then I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that goes along with the saying that I've been using in sales for many years as a sales manager, and that is the people at the top collaborate. They don't compete. And yeah, you're
Exactly.
so true. We have so much business going around, and I'm thinking about, as you're talking about new realtors, I just myself, when I first started in the mortgage industry, you don't know a lot. Sure, you get your license, just like your realtor's license, and you know the basics and stuff like that, but you don't know how to build out your process, and how do you go out and find new business, and how do you market yourself, and then once you find a client, like, how do you ensure that you just wow them and create an incredible experience? So I'd love to kind of know from your perspective, what are some of the key first, top things that a new realtor needs to do when they first start to work as a realtor, specifically with Realty Executives? What does that look like?
Well, I mean, the first thing, I mean, it's training. It's we do provide leads to our agents, but we don't provide it to them until they know what to do with them. Because
Yep.
there's no point in just saying, yeah, there you go, there's a lead, and they're like, okay, now what do I do? We're very big on building foundations, and like you said, they come out of getting their license out of Humber, and that's great. You've got your license. Do you know what to do with it? There's so much. I always say to people, you don't even know what you don't know until you get started in this business, right? There's things that they don't teach you at Humber, and it is how to have that communication with a potential client or a lead or anybody in the business, actually. So we're really big on getting that foundation, building the conversations, the scripts. When agents know what to say, then it gives them the confidence to say it. And then when you come across as confident, then people look at you as a professional and they want to work with you. So that's one of the things that I tell them too. It's like, Like, get these scripts down. The scripts are, hey, listen, I didn't invent these scripts. I didn't write them. These scripts have been around for a long time. And there's a reason why, because they work, right? You need to know what to say. So that's first thing, first and foremost is what to say. And then it's how do I build my business? What are the tools I need to get out there and grow my database? Having a large, strong database is also a really big base for any agent who wants to do well.
You're so right on that. And, you know, I've worked with a couple of the realtors on your team. And one of the things that I start out with when we're first meeting is like, I want to understand your process. Like, so for example, you know, if I hand over a referral to you or you send a referral to me, what does the first communication look like? And then during every process from that first conversation that you have with a client until closing, what are all the touch points in between where you and I need to communicate, and how can we ensure that nothing slips through the cracks and we ensure we have a great client experience? And I'll tell you, very impressed with the realtors that come through your training program because they get it.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's,
you know, yeah, Dwayne, one of the things that I instill on our agents too is the fact that we're building relationships. If you want to have a long business or, you know, some time in this industry, you have to build relationships. It's not about transaction. It's about the relationships, because that's what keeps the business coming back again and again. Whether it's relationships with somebody like yourself, with mortgage specialists, whether it's, you know, with clients, whether it's with, you know, home inspectors or lawyers or whatever, you need to build relationships and have good, strong ones. The other thing I always tell them too is that, you know, building relationships with other agents. When we're doing a transaction, there's a lot of agents who seem to think that it's some sort of a war, that we're against each other. And I always tell my agents, it's like, no, you want to build a good relationship with this other agent. Our, you know, end game is all the same. We want to bring a deal together for our clients. Why would we be like confrontational with another agent? We want to do everything we can to make things happen, right? So again, it's build relationships, good, strong relationships. Against this person, again, I say against, which isn't good, but you know, when you're going to be meeting up with this person again in another transaction. So let's make this a smooth one.
Oh, for sure. And from the mortgage standpoint, I see both sides of that, right? So
yeah.
Typically I'm communicating with the seller's agent and the buyer's agent, because they both need to know information, right? They need to understand what's happening with the deal. They have to have confidence that, you know, the deal is going to get funded. There's not going to be any issues with closing. And there's a lot of conditions that need to get met, you know, so I can see how having that strong foundation is important. And it now brings out the question of, you know, around, you brought up leads. And one of the things that, you know, I work with Ria quite a bit on your team. And one of the things we first started out when we first met was, you know, let's plan out, if we're going to work together, let's plan out how we can build out some strategy to try to get some leads coming in for us. And one of the things that blew me away was just Ria's knowledge on kind of the key lifestyle milestones where, you know, potentially you know, a client might be looking to buy. And I think she called it the 5 Ds. It was like diapers, divorce, deployments. I forget the rest of them, but there's just,
I think death might be one of those.
Death, exactly, right? And diamonds, right? So getting married. So all these different milestones that happen, and then Ria was already had a plan for, okay, here's my marketing strategy, here's how I'm going to attract them, and then for me, that just helped me understand, okay, what we need to build together, whether it's blog content or video content or mailers that go out or door knocking in certain areas. It showed that they really have a good foundation when it comes to how to go out and build the business. And that's just a testament to what you guys do over there.
Well, thank you. You got to have a plan. And that's, you know what, pretty much week 1, when I sit down with agents or when we start our training, it's goal setting. What are your goals for this year? Like, you know, what do you want to achieve? Okay, great. Now I can help you figure that out. You got to come up with a strategy. You got to have a plan. You can't be out there going willy-nilly and winging it. So that's so yeah, having a plan and a strategy for everything though, Dwayne. Like it's whether it's your leads, it's like I talk to agents all the time. It's like if you've got a listing coming or whatever, going for a listing appointment, you got to have some kind of a strategy for pricing it and or when you're going to do it. Like you got to have a plan. Mm-hmm. Everything kind of needs a plan, right? So.
And then when it comes to the technology that your teams use, does everyone have like different CRMs, or is it one CRM that you guys use? Or talk about some of the technology that you guys use.
Yeah, so CRMs are key. Again, it's that you got to have some sort of, you have to have systems. Everything's got to be systematic, because otherwise, like as I say to agents, if you don't put your database into your CRM, how are you going to remember to keep up with these? How are you going to know that, you got 100 people in your database? How can you keep on top of all of them? Like, how do you remember? Like, oh yeah, you're right. It's Thursday the 15th. That's right. I was supposed to call so and so. How do you remember this stuff? I don't know, unless you've got an incredible mind. CRMs are very key. It helps keep you organized. We actually have 2 CRMs, and it's for the apprenticeship program. That's what we provide for our agents. We provide them with the CRM because most of them you do have to pay for if you're, a regular agent out there. So we have 2 CRMs because both of them are very strong in different areas, right? So one of the ones we use is called Follow Up Boss. So yes. Follow Up Boss, we really like Follow Up Boss. I love the fact that it's very easy to maneuver. I find it very user friendly, and yeah, it helps you. You got to have tasks or reminders or whatever, and every time you open it up every day, there's your reminders of what you need to do for the day. So I'm very insistent that everybody on top of this. I like Follow Up Boss because I can see what activities my agents are doing, so that and it's not that I'm there trying to. I'm not trying to micromanage or peer in on what they're doing. I look at what they're doing or to help them find the gaps that maybe you should have said this. Have you tried doing that? So I love it. Follow Up Boss for all those reasons. But we also have an in-house CRM that's proprietary to Realty Executives International, and it's fantastic because we have a lot of training in there. We have an excellent marketing component to it. So, a lot of our marketing is really professional because we can just go into that CRM and do that. We can pull up our listing. So CRMs are key. If you want to survive in this business, you need to have some kind of a CRM.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
Oh, I agree. For me too, especially on the mortgage side, there's so many things, and you have to have your sales process in a pipeline, and basically you have your each stage of the process from the first application in until the day you close it, until the birthday or anniversaries when you're sending out cards and mailers and stuff like that, right? To just create engagement and stay connected to your clients. But what I'm liking now with a lot of the CRMs, especially the one I use is Pipedrive, and there's a lot of automations and workflows that you can build in. Like you said, I would never remember anything if my CRM didn't tell me I had to do it today. And so, you just build out those automations, those tasks, right?
Yeah. We have, with the in-house one, it sends out monthly newsletters for us. Like there's a lot of stuff that it just keeps on top of things for us. So, so that we can spend our time doing other things, like working with our clients, but still being able to stay in touch with other people, right? So yeah, CRMs are key.
So let's pivot a little bit and talk to me a little bit about some of the pain points or some of the struggles that new realtors have in their first year, and maybe some ways that you help coach them to overcome that.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of them. Well, the pain points are, one of them is, again, I talked about earlier, it's the confidence of having those conversations one of the toughest things is to get agents to pick up the phone. Just pick up the phone. And newer agents, especially younger agents, they really struggle with that. It's like, oh, okay, I'll get in touch, and then you see them going right, like on their laptops or whatever. I'm like, no, pick up the phone, because I really believe that we can connect with people. Don't get me wrong, we can connect with people via text and emails. It's sometimes you can't get the conversation started, but once you've made that connection or whatever, pick up the phone, because the connections that you make in person, talking to people, or whatever, ear to ear, um, uh, can go a lot further. Sometimes conversations or meanings of words get misunderstood in a text message or an email. Whereas when we're actually talking to people, we can come across, more intentionally. So I would say that's one of the struggles. But obviously, the biggest struggle is getting that traction, getting that business going. Where am I getting? Where am I getting my business? Where am I getting my leads? And we do a lot of door knocking, and we do it works. Whatever you're doing, most agents think, well, I door knocked the other day and it didn't work. It's like, no, you gotta keep doing it. So they get a little frustrated, because it's like, well, I door knocked all last week and I didn't get anything from it. It's like, that's okay. You gotta keep going. So sometimes they don't understand that this takes time. This, to build your business as a real estate agent, it takes time. You can't just expect a lead to drop in your lap. Sometimes they do, if you have somebody, and then they trust you, and then it happens. And like I was saying, if they trust you, that's the thing. People need to know, like, and trust you, right? It's a lot of money that we're helping people spend, or or cash out on. So they need to know that they can trust you. So I'd say that was the biggest frustration for new agents is, I feel like I'm doing everything I should and it's not working. And my answer to that is, you are doing everything you should. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it, and then you will find out that it's going to happen. I have an agent who, for a year, he was like, "Why isn't this happening? This isn't happening. Like, it's just, he was, he was trying." Right. This year, all of a sudden, things are just exploding for him. So agents need to understand it takes a good 6 months to a year before you can really, start to see some results happening. Yeah.
Well, that's in like any good marketing, right? It's, I used to run a lot of marketing for like TELUS and Kudo, and for our dealer channel, and so you're so right. It was a minimum of anything we're going to do is be a minimum of 6 months, right? Because
Yeah.
you need time to build up your awareness. So you need time to build up some trust. But more importantly, these people are just looking for consistency. So, for example, you go out and door knock one neighborhood, and you're there one month, and then 3 months later you're there because you're doing a food drive campaign, and you're putting a bag with your card on it, and hey, can you drop a few canned goods because that's in your neighborhood? And then all of a sudden it's that person, and you're just in that headspace. And then if you top that up with all the social media that you do and everything else, it's all about just building up your brand, so that when people do have a problem, when they need to sell or they need to go buy, then you're the one that's top of mind. And consistent, you're so right with consistency. It's how I built my business. I started out just a little over a year and a half ago, right? And it took me, in order to get my first 5 deals, it took me a while, right? But now consistently I'm getting in like referrals from social media, referral from my referral partner networks, and from my friends, because they trust, because I'm been consistent on social, consistent in going to networking groups and all that kind of stuff, right?
And Dwayne, for you, I think you really worked on building those relationships. Like I talked earlier, that's something that you've done, is worked on building those relationships, which I think has really helped your business grow.
Yeah, you're so right. Thank you for recognizing that. It's been a lot of work, but we're not doing this. We're not becoming independent, because that's what we are. We're independent business owners, although we're tied to a brokerage. where really
Yeah.
it's our business. So you got to think of it like your business. If you're going to open up a restaurant tomorrow, what are all the things that you would do, and what would you have to do to get people to come in that door? That's no different than what we're doing, right? We still need to get people to come through our door, and a lot of times we have to do not just one thing. We have to have consistency on a few different
Many,
things. Yes. Yeah.
many things. Yeah, it's not, there is no one magic pill. There's no one thing. It's, the other thing that I will tell them too, it's follow up. It's
Mm.
like, that's great. So you had an open house and you got a bunch of people that came in and you got their contact and you got to follow up with them, right? You got to, you went door knocking and you connected with some people. Okay, great. You got to follow up with that. Like, it just because you had a great conversation doesn't mean that they will automatically go, oh, I'm going to use that person. You got to, like you said, be top of mind. One of the questions I have when I'm interviewing agents is they will ask me, so how much can I expect to make in the first year? I love that question, right? And my answer to them is, well, that depends on you. That depends on you. How hard do you want to work? How much are you willing to, commit to this and be consistent at? So, I mean, I can tell any of them anything. Like, sure, you could make 50, you could make 100, but I can't guarantee that. That depends on, how hard are you willing to work. So you might make 10 in your first year,
Or nothing,
right?
depending
Or
on
nothing.
how hard you work, right? You're so
That's
right.
right.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing. And I always say, I love that you say when you meet with your first realtors that come through your onboarding, you start with goals. And that is the most
Yes.
important thing. And your goal, you need to look at that every day. So what I like to do with how because I've been managing sales teams for years, we're not reinventing the wheel here. There's been realtors for years that have been successful. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're just showing you, here's the process, here's the coaching, here's the script, here's the training. Now let's reverse engineer all the activities that you need to do in a year to hit this goal. So if you want to hit
Yeah.
$100,000, well, this is how many leads you need to have. Well, what's your conversion rate from lead to deal? And then how
Yeah.
many of your deals actually close? And what's your
Yeah.
close rate, right? So once you can reverse engineer back right from your $100,000, if that's what you want to make, or $500,000 or whatever, what
Mhm.
are all the different things that you need to do, and then what are all the different lanes that you can drive in, right? So what
Yeah.
can social media, door knocking, your own
Houses.
circle,
Yeah.
right? So it's not rocket science. It's actually
Right.
execution.
Yeah. It's true. And like I said before, I didn't make this stuff up. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not, I haven't invented some great new program or anything. It's just like, this is, we're just here to implement it and help agents get there. When one of my first agents that was part of the program, um, she had said, uh, and she had actually been in the industry for 2 years before she started with the program. And uh, working with her, she had said at one point, "Listen, guys." She was talking to the group of apprentices. She said, "Look, at guys, I thought that she was crazy with the things that she was telling me to do." I was like, "Well, thank you." She said, all of a sudden everything started coming together. She said, and she was right. So listen to what she's saying, even if you think she's crazy with telling you to do this stuff. So I thought that was a real great testimonial.
Oh, for sure. I bet. I bet. So let's end this with a couple more questions, and I know you have a very busy day today. The first part is of the questions. We'll start with kind of future outlook. Where do you think the rest of the year is going to go? What are some of the experts in your industry saying about the real estate industry as a whole? And then I'll put my 2 cents in on where I see the mortgage industry is going to go.
Yeah. So I will tell you that the first quarter this year, clearly buyer confidence is back, and things are happening. It's been well for me personally. It's been a very busy first quarter, and now we're heading into the second, which is great. With the interest rates kind of holding steady, like I said, it's brought buyer confidence back. and we are seeing sellers are, they're confident time now to move on as well. So to me, it's a positive. I see it as a positive thing. I know that there is some question whether they're going to decrease in June or not. I guess that's to be seen. That I know that there were some people who were thinking, if I purchase by the time I get to June, maybe mortgage rates will be lower, which will make it even that much easier for me to get my mortgage. But yeah, that might not be a situation now. You're going to be able to tell me more about that. I see this as, I see 2024 as being a strong year for us as agents. I see the business. I mean, you can see for sale signs are popping up all over the place, and things aren't staying on the market like they did. I would really be happy if we could end up in the huge multiple offers situations again, but I don't think inventory is that low. I think we're starting to see more inventory, so there's more of a balanced market, I find. Yeah, I think that's yeah.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that. So from my client's perspective, I just look at my database and I can just tell you, there's over 5,000 mortgage agents across Canada, not even including, the mortgage specialists at the banks and that sort of thing. And I have a huge database of buyers that have been just waiting for the market. So all of that down payment money is now there's more and more and more because they keep saving. And then, so you take that into we're not seeing any more increases. That's great. But what's happening now is the fixed rates are coming down. So, I saw for the first time we had 3-year fixed under 5%. Historically, 5% is a good rate. We were just, that's an average rate. So
that's not bad at all.
If you're sitting there waiting to get into the market thinking, we're going to be back down to 1.25%, that's not going to happen again. The Bank of Canada is not going to let that happen. But I would say, maybe we'll see fours. We'll be in the fours, maybe a little under the fours by 2026. But right now, you shouldn't be waiting based on interest rates. And that's not what my clients are doing. Right now, they're just trying to find the home they love. And so there's a lot of shoppers. I've got lots of shoppers. Currently right now is about 7 people I'm working with just this month that are out shopping the market. And, we've got a lot of people that have immigrated here to Canada that have been here for a couple of years now and are ready to buy and can buy. Yeah. So you've got that. And for sure. And in the end, we go back to those 5 Ds, right? The diamonds, diapers, divorce, deployment, death. I got them all 5 there. So death happens. And we have a lot of people that are going to have to sell because they need to, someone maybe passed, grandparents, whatever, the estate needs to sell or they need to move into a retirement home. There's still going to be all of those reasons on why. And of course you have, my daughter's just putting down her down payment tomorrow, her and her fiance for their first home. So, there's a lot of people looking to buy their first homes. And to mention that, I'm not sure if you saw the news last week, but that Liberal government came out with a shocker and basically said, hey, you can now double up the withdrawal from your RRSP. So now an individual can pull out $60,000 from their RRSP. That was, I think, as of April 16th, which is actually today. And then in August 1st, what they're going to look to do is extend for new home purchases the amortization. All that means is now if somebody finds a dream home that they love and they couldn't qualify on the 25-year and they do on the 30, well, now that home becomes an option for them to buy. So I think we're going to see a lot more people with that are going to be in the market. And I think at this point, it's just you never want to time it. You just want to get in when there's not a huge bidding war, right? So if you can get in now, get in now. But I would say for our new mortgage agents that are coming in, new realtors that are coming in, there's always been a market. There always will be a market. It's how you execute. Yeah. It's how you execute.
It's a busier one, slower one. There's homes always sell. People are always buying and selling homes, like you said, for the 5 Ds. That's always, there's always a reason. Yeah.
So one final question, and that is for any new realtors coming in, what's that piece of advice that you'd give an aspiring realtor trying to get into the market?
Yeah, so don't think that you know everything. Find somebody, find a mentor, find somebody who is willing to guide you and give you the tools. That's key. I don't know anybody who can come into this industry and just do it on their own. And unfortunately, Dwayne, that's one of the things that we see a lot of is that we do find we get a lot of agents in our program who have gone to other brokerages initially and have had no guidance at all. That they were promised it and they got no guidance, no training. I mean, I have two girls who just started recently, and after 6 months, they didn't even have business cards. Like, it's like, can somebody not direct somebody? Okay, here are some of the things you need to do to get started. You want to get some business cards for sure, but find somebody that you can trust that's going to guide you in the right direction, right?
Great
And
advice.
help with paperwork. Help with paperwork. There's so much, like, I don't care if you lost your license, the paperwork and stuff. Most of these agents don't know what the heck they're doing.
That's
So
really good advice. I would say for my advice, the one thing I would say is fail fast. And what I mean by that is go out and take Bunny's advice, pick up the phone, make the calls, door knock, do the activities that's going to generate you income. So these is revenue generating activities, but fail fast. Just get out there and do it, learn from it, and then just fix what you what you felt didn't work, right? So what's working, what's not working, but fail fast. Get out there and just do it. Just do the
and
activities.
learn, right? And what do they say? When's the best time to door knock? Is the best time to make calls? Anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime is the best time. Just like you said, just get out and do it.
Oh,
So,
that's awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining the interview today. I learned a lot, Bunny, and I will share all your information in the show notes. So if anybody wants to get in touch with Bunny and learn about Realty Executives Plus and what it's like to join that organization, they can contact her in the show notes below.
thank you so much, Dwayne.
Yeah, thank you.
It's
Bye for
been
now.
a pleasure. All right, take care.